Hi, it's time for another video. The topic that we're going to discuss for today is everything in moderation. Now, my name is Darren and I'm the private tutor from EnglishTuition.org. Now, you may have already guessed it. The word of the day is moderation, which is a noun, and the definition for it is the avoidance of excess or extremes. In other words, we don't want to go to the low end or we don't want to go to the high end. We want somewhere in the middle. And if we mean to say that, then we use the word moderation. Now notice that quite often we always use the preposition in front of the word moderation together, right? So instead of saying just moderation, we say in moderation. Now students should be more sensitive to that because when they pick up the noun, they should pick up the words that accompany them most of the times. That is because that will enable them to use the words in their own writing, right? Because if they do not remember the words that comes either in front or behind of the nouns, then they may not be able to form the phrase itself, which eventually becomes part of the sentence. So in this particular case, the preposition in is always used, is sometimes used with the word moderation, right? So we say, let me give you an example, right? We always say exercise in moderation, right? So if you exercise too little, you may gain too much weight and you're going to have all kinds of health problems. Now, if you exercise too much, right, you take too much time exercising and then you do not give yourself enough time to rest and recuperate, then that may also lead to health problems. So we need to exercise in moderation. All right, that's one example that I can give. Second example, when you're studying, study in moderation. Now, if you have watched some of my previous videos about revision, then you know that I'm not a strong advocate of studying for long stretches at a time without taking any breaks and without doing anything that makes you happy, right? And that makes you enjoy your learning. So I always recommend that you take a reasonable amount of time to study for each session, and that is typically within the 1.5 hour to 2 hour mark. And then after that, you will need to take a short break, right? Otherwise, you are just not absorbing the material that you have placed in front of you. Okay. The next example that I can give you is eat in moderation, right? Some people eat too much, some people eat too little, right? So people who eat too much, they become overweight, and again, that leads to all kinds of health problems, right? If they eat too little, they can become underweight, and people who are malnourished, right, they may have concentration problems, right, because the body is not functioning as well as it should. So take the time to feed the body and eat in moderation. And the last and final example that I can give you is to sleep in moderation as well. Some people sleep too little. They think that, oh, I have to burn the midnight oil because the exams are coming, right? But because of that, they are going into the exam hall with a very tired mind. You actually need a fresh and relaxed mind to perform well in the written paper. So burning the midnight oil is never a good strategy, right? You just sacrifice your sleep just to brush up on the topics. What students should do is to plan way earlier in advance to start their revision earlier so that they can complete the topics on time. And if they have additional time before the exams, they can actually go over the revision one more time, okay? And there's no need to burn the midnight oil. Then at the other end of the spectrum, there are students who sleep too much, right? Once they have spare time, they will sleep. And then they find that they have very little time to do their homework or to finish their homework or to complete their revision. So that's again not a good thing. So most of the time in many different situations in life, we often find that when we do things in moderation, we get the best results. So that's all I have to share with you in this video. Hope you find something useful and hope you learn a new word, right? The word of the day again is moderation, and try to remember it as a phrase in moderation. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you dislike it for whatever reason, give it a thumbs down and leave your comments in the comment section below in moderation. And then I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.